Will you yield the floor to Buzz Aldrin, please? We'll come right back to you.
Yeah, basically the question has to do with how soon and in what form can we have a test bed structure of some sort at the ISS to test out the equipment and configuration and the support of missions going beyond low Earth orbit. And when I look at that question, I say to myself, well, now let's build a big container, and we'll call it a large container, and it'll have everything in it, redundancy to be able to take people to someplace like Mars and back. So I look at a large one, and then I say, now, let's compare that with two mediums that are about the same size. And if one fails, then I still have the other one. So if I can eliminate critical items in both of them that would cause both to fail. Now, if I take the two medium and let one grow smaller and the other one grow bigger, pretty soon the small one disappears and I'm right back where I was with the big one. So somewhere in that trade space, I feel, is what we need to depart as a specialized spacecraft system from Earth orbit outward. We need the specialized spacecraft, commercial, to take people to Earth orbit. And when we get somewhere, if there's an atmosphere, we may need a lander of sorts. Now, I feel that as you do this trade space of two mediums, when you get to a small and a medium-large, that's pretty ideal. Turns out we're already working on a small one. It's called Orion, except we'd like to specialize it and not have it take humans from the surface of the Earth up to orbit and back again, to have it go outward. So we need something like an Orion that's small, but now converted into a medium-large, about 3 times that size. Can we get a test bed of that nature and begin to put similar equipment, but avoid the single point failures, and begin to get a test bed at the station? We might call one of them Orion Exploration, the small one, and the other Orion Habitat. Now, when you get to some place like Mars or an asteroid or back at Earth, the small one becomes what we would call a space taxi. It takes people, it's smaller, less velocity, less fuel is required to take it from a low Earth orbit to a medium orbit to a higher orbit around the Earth, around Mars. Now the medium-large, the Orion Habitat, is heavier, bigger, so we don't want to move it around, but it becomes a habitat in low Earth orbit, medium, but it also can be landed at a vacuum object, like the moon. So you can sell it to the Chinese so that they can use it as their habitat. And we can also land it on Phobos, and we have a taxi, the Orion Exploration, that can go to Deimos and other orbits. So to me, that's a good starting point, but where we need to really concentrate is where can we get the shell, about the size of a U.S. ham, and get it up at the space station and start filling it full of test equipment that Paragon and other people can come up with. And this is what my small group of guys called Unified Space Vision have been trying to do. Unified, well, instead of vision for space exploration, it's unified space vision, and we unify 5 things. Exploration, development, leads to commercial, then we get science and security. Those 5 things are what are needed for a national space policy. And when it becomes unified strategic space, then it's not just national, but it's international. How our nation relates with those 5 things with other nations. And I happen to be calling that U.S.S. enterprise. Unified strategic space enterprise. It's not an advisory group, but it's an information disseminating to tell the American people and people all around the world what are the elements of space policy and how are we proceeding to unify them within the nation and then strategically to interface them with other nations.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. So be it.